ATOP Meaningful World is an organization dedicated to bringing peace and helping people through major disasters. Here now discussing the organization's mission trip, the recent mission trip to Armenia, along with upcoming mission trips to Haiti. We welcome now BronxNet and Vice President of Meaningful World, Lorraine Simmons. And good to have you. Good morning.
Yes.
So you guys do some, part of the pun, meaningful work really in terms of missions and going about and really helping those who are less fortunate. And share with us a little bit about Meaningful World.
Well, we're an organization that is a charitable organization. We're associated with the United Nations. We've been an organization for 27 years, and we do outreach here in the U.S., as well as 45 different countries around the world we've been to. Mm-hmm. And we recently, as you said, went to Armenia for a mission. Armenia was our very first mission 27 years ago after the earthquake. So, and our founder, Dr. Ani Kalajan, is Syrian, but she's Armenian. She was born in Syria in Aleppo. So Armenia has a very soft spot in her heart. Yeah. So she went there after the earthquake in 1989, I believe it was. So we returned this year with the idea that we would work with the Syrian Armenians. They don't like to be called refugees because to them the word refugee means that they're victims. They like to see themselves as contributors to society. They all come with high education. They don't want to be seen as victims. So the Syrian Armenians, we worked with them. Our other goal was to establish suicide hotlines because we're finding that research is showing that the suicide rate with the younger adolescents as well as the adults has increased.
Any particular reason why?
Well, I think because with the fall of the Soviet Union, they don't have the job opportunities that they did. There's a lot of the suicide rate could be with the Syrians as well. So they just don't have the opportunity to grow. So a lot of the men in particular and families are going out to Russia and into other countries for work. So they're leaving their families home. So maybe the adolescents, their parents are separated because of the job situation. The fathers are out working, so the mothers are raising them. They're probably feeling a little bit of depression and lack of hope for any kind of growth for themselves.
And we have some pictures, I'm sure we'll show them in a few minutes, of some of the work that you guys have done in Armenia. Give us a little bit about the trip to Armenia and what was that like this time around?
This time around, we worked with, like I said, the Syrian Armenians. So we were at a clinic, but our program is a humanitarian outreach for emotional intelligence, for trauma relief, for mental health. So that's the kind of organization we are. We have a 7-step integrative healing model, which assesses the situation, and you can use this with individuals or with groups. Allow the person or the group to express themselves. Then we move on to expressing empathy or validation to that person so that that person feels like they're being heard. They're not alone. The next step is to then move into meaning making and learning the lessons that you learn from the experience. That's the step that takes you from being a victim to a victor. So it's a really important step. Then we help people understand the resources they have available, but then we also help them to move the energy through their body through exercises. So some of the photos that I have are showing.
Take me back to those because I want to go back to one because I think the very first one I saw a group of people out there. We're going to go take a look at that. I want you to give me a little bit of a definition on that. You know,
so this group is at the end of our training where we do it's a heart-to-heart circle of gratitude and love. And it brings the people together and it helps them through meditation and through expressing their gratitude for their lives. So we do this with every group. And people always seem to come together. People who may not have been speaking to one another before the training end up seeing that, oh, okay, we're all really here together, we're all alike, and we can do this.
And so, in addition to that, you go and you're taking yourselves to Haiti, but before we talk about your upcoming trip to Haiti, there's a very special guest that's sitting on my desk right here, and I'm sure my camera will catch this one here, but talk to me about this very special guest here.
Well, these are what we call our heart hug dolls. And about 3 years ago now, I started making these dolls. They're all handmade. I make them. My son helps me make them. And we give them to the orphans when we go to the orphanages. But the special part about it is that there's a pocket here. And we ask the adults in any groups that we work with to write prayers or special messages to the children, put them in the pocket, so when the kids get them, it may be the only toy they've ever had, right? It may be the only toy that they have ever had. It has the prayer so that they feel like someone is out there for them. So we give them out. This last batch that I made makes 200 dolls.
Really? Congratulations, and that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, as we said, you've done Armenia, and now you're getting set to go to Haiti.
Correct. It will be our 12th mission to Haiti, and it's a very different atmosphere to work with the Haitians versus the Armenians. The political situation there is very desperate. The educational system there is very low. There's a very low literacy rate. So people are struggling just to survive day to day. So they have, I call it a bit of a hopelessness, because they feel like they can't look forward to something in the future. Very many, very often they're just struggling to find food for the day, find a place to sleep. And with the recent hurricane, a lot of the crops in the southern tip of the country are grown there. So a lot of them were wiped out. So this year in particular, they don't have the food resources. So the food that's being imported is very expensive. So there's a lot of hunger going on there. So when you go there to work and talk about empathy and talk about empowerment and things like that and emotional intelligence, they're struggling just to eat. So very often we'll bring them food when we go to work with them, especially with the children. So to see the poverty level, it's very difficult. It's a very difficult and a different kind of mission.
Walk me through about how many volunteers travel with you and how you guys are able to go and travel, because you do about how many trips a year?
Two to three at this point. And we would certainly do more if we had the funding. But like I said before, we do pay for our own missions. A team typically consists of 4 to 5 people. We have people that are in the country that we work in that have worked with us many times before. So they're there, psychologists, psychiatrists, it could be a video crew. It just depends on where we are and what we have available. But there are people there. We hire them, so we help them that way. We pay them when we get there. But then our team is typically, this team to Haiti will be 3 people.
Okay. So if people want more information, how do they go about helping you if they say, listen, I want to help?
Oh, we'd love that. And we sponsor children too, and we take the money directly to them, either to go to school or to help with food and medical expenses, things like that. Our website is www.meaningfulworld.com, and there's a donate button right there.
Yeah, you see the information at the bottom of the screen, and certainly you can help out Lorraine and those who do real meaningful work. And thank you so much for the work that you do and for coming and sharing a little bit about your organization.
Thank you.
All righty.
All right.
Taking a quick break. We'll be back with more shows. Stay with us. We'll come right back right after this.